Hello everyone. I am so sorry I have not posted in about 3 weeks. Obviously things have come up with life. Not only did I have to work a different type of shift for about 2 weeks, I was doing window crew for my job, and in doing so, it led me to have a very interesting schedule, and that schedule was, let's say, taxing. Sundays I'd go at 9 a.m. and come home at 5:30. Monday through Thursday I was doing 4 p.m. till 1 a.m. So if I wasn't at work, I was sleeping, which is probably a very good thing. You also know another change is I added blonde in my hair, and you can see a little bit of the tail a little bit better. But my hair will eventually be going back actually to a burgundy to a chestnut brown, mostly for the Ren Fair that's coming up. And because if anyone ever read the books, the Sword of Truth series with Richard, Kaelin, Kara, Zed, Addie, and all of them, Chase, Rachel, then you'll know that I'm cosplaying or dressing up as the Mother Confessor, Kaelin. I'm an elf. So I'll be in a completely white dress that's probably going to be satin about the end of July. So it's going to be hot, muggy, and gross. And being in Washington, there's that slight chance of rain. So that's going to be a fun thing. But I'll also have my cloak, so that will make it 10 times hotter and interesting. And I will take pictures and share it on not only my Facebook, which I got back, by the way, by having to remake. I will also put it on my Tumblr, and I will do a slideshow for you all. I finally got the editor on my computer done, so I may not always have to do videos in one shot, which I have been doing, and I apologize for. Because obviously some misspeakings, mistalks, a lot of I'm not good at public speaking. And this is actually kind of helping me too. And I'm really grateful for my whole 20 subscribers I have. I mean, I hate not a lot of people have any. I started out with this channel new from what it was to now. I've at least gained, about 17, 18 new people. So for me, that's a good thing. And while this time off, we've dealt with the Orlando shooting, which has hit me hard, and my fiance as well. It hurt them a lot harder than I thought it would, and genetically she's a female, so am I, and they prefer the pronouns them and they because they see themselves as not one gender, but they see themselves as gender void, meaning they don't feel like they're male or female, which is a thing, and I totally respect them for that, and I love them regardless. And they follow Hades, which you can see the Hades altar in the background. And the other one is actually one of our house altars. And if you hear a cat or an odd banging noise, that's our AC and our cat Persephone, who likes to be at the center of everyone's attention, who is standing next to my computer right now. An odd scratching noise, that'd be our rabbit Cosmosis, my little pride and joy fluffy bunny that eventually I'll show everyone on camera when he's not in the mood to be a jerk. But today's video is an apology for not posting more often. I will try, even with the chance of me getting a full-time position at my job, and which would call for me either to be working 4 a.m. till about, I think it's 1:30 or 1 o'clock, or 4:30 p.m. till, you guessed it, 1 a.m. So I'm looking at either a day or swing shift. If it's swing shift, then I'll eventually be able to work a correct sleep schedule to where I can post a lot better or post more on the weekends. And I want to try to do that more because I've been studying other YouTubers. I've been watching, I've been commenting, I've been talking to. And there are a bigger pagan community out here than I thought on YouTube. And I'm so grateful for it. especially because of a lot of the interesting nutball jobs of some of the Christian YouTubers. And I say some because they remind me of fundamental Christians who think if you breathe wrong, you're going to hell. Or that the Illuminati rules everything and we're doomed. Which actually, one of those videos helped me find one of the people I listen to. I'm going to butcher his name, but I'm going to put a link to his channel below. And I enjoy listening to him. I enjoy the explanation he has on Wicca. Which, if you notice, I never identify myself as Wiccan. I go more as pagan, which is fine. Everybody has their own belief, their own label, their own want and justification, and what their own label, more or less. But more or less, today's video is actually going to be about tools and items that you use or may find or may have to make or buy or get a hold of. It's more about the kind of starting out wise. We're going to start out with talking about certain ritual items that you will sometimes find on an altar. And one of those is, where did I put it? Yes, I brought everything over, but I forget where I said it. One of those is called an afflame. I actually have a little bit of a fancier one. I started out with a not so fancy one. The original one I started out with is not in reaching distance. It's like this big of a blade and this big of a handle, so it's a tiny cute little pocket one. This one, as you can see, is a lot bigger. Belt loop for if I'm traveling with it, which in Washington I can, because guess what, it's not a concealed weapon and it's in a holster, though it is sharp. You can see the moon design on it, which I actually like this. I got it at a new age store. A lot of new age stores have these, so it is rather a mass-produced one, but I like the triple moons. Reminds me of the triple goddesses. They are used to make the circle, cut the hole through the circle, and to cut cords. One of the things you can use. Be very careful with these kinds of tools. They are sharp, they can inflict damage, and they can hurt, scar, and or kill a person if you're not careful, because it is a knife. It is a sharp knife, a double-edged knife, as I showed you. Both ends sharp, tip is sharp. You don't necessarily have to get a sharp one. You can have a dull one. If you're just starting out, I would prefer, and I think a lot of people would, if you start out with a dull one. My first one was very dull. It still is, because it's more for ritual, along with this. This is more for ritual than anything else. That's all I use it for. It sits on my altar on my God side, or in the center, whichever one it feels right to be in at the time. Other tools you'll see, and I have 3 and maybe some more somewhere in the house. Wands. This is a selenite wand. What I use this for is healing energy and pinpointing the parts that it hurts. Like, say if your shoulder hurts, you use that to go like this and try to pull the pain out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the person and how you do your own healing magic. I've had this for quite a few years. So I say a couple, but I've had it longer. It is one of my favorites. It's obviously a bit worn and torn if you look at it. Important thing to know about selenite. So, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I also have one of the orbs. I'll be explaining these later. This was an orange one. Do not get these wet. You can get them a little damp and everything, like if you're sprinkling water or holy water or something around, but do not sit them in water. Do not let them sit in water. Dry them off as soon as you can, because this stone is what you call water soluble, which water will break it down and dissolve it. Granted, it's over time, but you can still dissolve it into nothing, and it'd be a good idea not to do that, because it hurts what the object is supposed to be used for, and it hurts the magic that's behind the items. So if you have one of those, please do not get it wet. Try not to get it wet. Do not use it for water healing. This one is actually a kyanite and I don't remember the other stone. I feel horrible. Type of stone. Wand. I also use this for rituals, a little bit of healing, and primarily to pull cords. Cord cutting, I will explain it in another video. But with this, you need to be very, very careful with as well. Mine is a little loose. I use the kyanite for healing and also sends through a vibration. Kyanite is a very powerful stone with a high vibration level. I have orange kyanite, I have blue kyanite, I have black kyanite. I don't have white yet, and I have a few. I also have green. It's a very awesome stone and sometimes very expensive. My orange kyanite this big cost me about $20. My black kyanite is about this big and looks like an angel feather, $15. My green kyanite is a little chunk, $2, depending on what it is. This obviously has blue kyanite in it. It's blue and purple, as you can see. I don't use it that often. It also sits on my Loki side in the altar. My other one sits with my Bridget side. This one was one of the first ones I got. It is a not oak, but birch wand with amethyst on the tip and on the end. It is carved into a snake. I got it from a New Age store. It called to me, and it was decent and cheap too. I think I paid like $4 for it. And it's helped me with circle drawing. It's helped me with other spells and everything like that. You notice I'm doing my best not to point the tip unless it's being covered at anything that you'll find in your books. I'm just letting you see details on the wand itself. You don't need more than one or two, or however many you feel you need. You don't need more than what you feel you need. I have a 3. I will probably eventually one day have more. And if you're just noticing the light changing, I paused. It was getting dark in here. It's about 7:38 o'clock my time. With the wands, like I said, you can also make your own. Like with this, obviously somebody made this hand carved, and it's beautiful. And whoever created this is awesome, because the energy and everything that's come from this for as long as I've used it has been nothing but bring luck and prosperity to a lot of my practices and stuff. Obviously, technically, all these are handmade, but that had just a little bit more care into it because it was carved. Another common item you will find are candles. And you notice they still have the tags on them. You don't have to buy candles at a New Age store or expensive stores like Yankee Candles and Bath Body Works and stuff like that. I went down to a local grocery store that we know as Linco. $2. They work great. They last, I believe I burnt 2 of these after the shooting. They lasted about not 24 hours, but at least 8 to 9 hours. And yes, I was around the entire time they were lit. Never leave a candle unattended. Even if it is in a glass jar tube, you can use those too. I actually have one burning that is on the healing altar, sending out healing energy to any and everyone who needs it. So if you feel you need it, take it. Take the energy. Please do. You can get them in various colors, shapes, sizes, designs. If you're doing candle magic, you will go by the colors that you need. But remember, white candles always can substitute as any color if you need it to. Another must need, if you don't like using lighters, wooden matches, or matches in general. Dollar Tree, dollar box of 300. We have a bunch of tiny little 32-pack candles as well. These ones are green light, so they don't give off as much of the sulfur smell. but they burn quickly, so use them quickly. And the upside is you can put these in your flammable trash things that some I know keep that burn at the end of the month because they're wood, they're easy to dispose of. Oh no, I killed a tree. I apologize. A lot of it's recyclable wood. Another thing, and I had held it up earlier, orbs. You don't necessarily need these. I have 4 to 5 plus a bunch of small ones. Mind you, I've been doing this for years. I've been collecting stuff from my altar for years. This alone was one of my first. My other one is still actually sitting on my altar. It is actually the same color as the wand. This one cost me $20 to $30 because it's colored. The other one cost me $10 to $15 because it's not. Colored selenite sometimes is harder to come by. I use these for healing meditation purposes. Mostly this one and the other one I use for meditating outside of water. What I use for meditating inside of water is my fluorite one, which this one, yes, is small. Fluorite is a man-made stone. This one cost me about $50 because of what it is. Being pagan is expensive sometimes, but mind you, I saved up for this. A lot of my items I saved and took me years to get a hold of. Or sometimes, like with the case of 2 of my stone eggs, I found 3 technically at Goodwill, all 3 in a set for $5. One of them I gifted to my friend Brandon, who loves it. And if anyone's ever heard any of the Creek Lizard story, he's also known as Bill. He loves his egg. He got the more darker blue one. I kept the lighter one and the medium colored one. They actually are sitting on my main altar right now. But you don't have to go out and spend a fortune on these. Sometimes you can find them at Goodwill. You can find them at almost any place. For cheap, yes. Sometimes, no. This one, I think it's a quartz. We don't know. The New Age store I went to had this sitting on its shelf. And they had it sitting there for a couple of years. Every time I'd go in there, I'd kneel down from the shelf and just hold this for sometimes 5 to 10 minutes, if not the entire time we were there, because I didn't have the money for it. I was a broke college student, and I was using my money for food, gas, bus fare. And I would sit there and I'd hold it. It's kind of unique to me because right here you can see a bit that it looks like it has separate shading colors. Right here is a cracked round on the top, and along with on this side too. So it looks like it was cut a certain way and 2 pieces were added to it. But it had always called to me. They didn't even know what kind of stone it was. They had lost a tag years ago. And one of the times he said, one of the owners said that he would sell it to me for $40 to $50. Of course, for about 2 years, I didn't have $40 to $50 to my name to use. So one of my first paychecks from work, I had leftover money. My friend took me to the store, and I bought it finally. I have used this so many times. It gives me holding it gives me a lot of energy. Sometimes you have to save up for that perfect piece of your altar. Sometimes it'll go away, it'll disappear, and you'll find something better. I was lucky on this one. And if it's meant to be yours, it'll be there when you have the time and the money and the ability. If it's not meant to be yours, you'll find the right ones for you.